Oh, there we go. I was going to hide her and then bring you on, Tony. So we've got now, this is second guest of the day, Tony Taylor. You are not in Albany, Oregon, and you're out of Olympia, Washington, correct?
Right. That is correct. And you're in Tacoma, right?
Tacoma, yep, just up the street.
Oh yeah, good deal.
So,
good deal. We could have did this in person, right?
Yeah, pretty darn close to. Oh, I didn't want that as a ticker. Sorry, I'm learning how to use these banners. Here we go. There we go.
Worries.
TonyTaylorInspires.com. So Tony, I remember Thurston County for a long time has had lower counts than what we've had in Pierce and obviously in King County. But it's still impacting businesses and those kinds of things. Are you guys in the same? Are you guys in the shutdown, no inside dining and that kind of stuff?
Yep. It is completely the same. And for a while there, and here in Thurston County, we kind of would be like, oh, look at King County. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
Yeah, I think I lost you a little bit there. I remember, I think you guys all hit phase 3 before anyone else in the state, so that's good. So tell us a little bit about Tony Taylor Inspires. I see your videos all the time on LinkedIn and on YouTube, and you do a great job of trying to bring a lot of positivity to people individually and collectively. What got you into doing the motivational speaking and coaching?
So with me, it's one of those things. Initially, it was therapy for myself, right? Knowing and trying to just like a counselor, right? A counselor, most of the good counselors, they have the most problems, and psychiatrists, right? So for me, it was trying to figure out, what's my why? Why am I on this earth? Why am I afforded the opportunities that I have? And what can I do with those opportunities that I have? And I just went on this long road of kind of discovering myself, right? And so in the process of me discovering myself and kind of screaming to the mountaintops, this is me and this is what I'm doing to fix it, right? Other people are asking me, hey, I noticed there's a change about you. I noticed that, you're way more happier than what you used to do, but it's not happy, it's living in a life of purpose and you know what you're supposed to be doing. So that kind of caught on, and I started doing the speaking engagements, doing workshops with different companies just to kind of bring them to that point, right? That initial step to know, hey, I need to make a change. It's not just my work that sucked. Maybe it's me that suck. And when I say suck, I don't use that term lightly. I mean, we all have different issues that we're dealing with, that we're battling with, but we just need to figure out, what it is. What is the battle? What do I have on my back in order to know how to get a tangible solution?
That's good, man. Yeah, exactly. Know your why. I'm looking at your website now. So you got services, there's videos, a ton of great quotes. Are the Inspire, is the Inspire swag on there?
Yeah, it is on there, and I can send you a t-shirt for a good price of $1,000 each. No, I'm just kidding. No, definitely. You want one, man? I'll send you one.
Oh. Hey. More expensive. What's the Supreme, right? You're the tier up from Supreme.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say that, right?
Well, so also part of your story, you were a veteran in the military. Obviously, this area is heavy. There's a lot of military families and those kinds of things. So what, I think that's what we were talking about offline. What are something businesses need to understand about supporting and hiring veterans that are have served their country and now are maybe getting out of the military, or whether they're retiring or they've finished their tour or their and what can businesses know about helping support them and getting them into the workforce?
So with hiring veterans or just veterans altogether, right? Whenever you see a veteran, right? Normally, like if you're in a restaurant, you hear, thank you for your service, right? That's all you hear. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And it's one of those deals as a veteran. Yeah, as a veteran, yeah, it's like a check in the box, right? Thank you for your service. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But as a veteran, when I was getting out of the military, that's all I heard was thank you for your service. And I would go and I would apply to different places. They would tell me thank you for your service, but either you're overqualified or underqualified. And what I mean by underqualified, usually it's a degree, right? It's usually a degree, and that's kind of like the gray area, right? You don't have a degree or you have too much experience. And I realized that my route or my journey was the same as many others. They would get out of the military and they would say, I'm done fighting for my country. This country loves me, which they do, right? This country loves me. Yeah. And here I am, hire me, right? And it doesn't work like that. It don't work like that at all. And then if it happens, sometimes it's not a good situation. So with me, what I would do on the internet, I would make these videos, hire vets. And I would connect the vet to the company. And then I would find out that the vet, whether he or she got let go or if they decided that it wasn't a good position for them, but it would happen too many times than not to where, oh yeah, they don't work here no more, or they didn't show up, the first or second week, or we just told them to go because we just didn't understand he or she. And I started noticing that this was happening quite a bit. And I'm just like, you know what? I am literally sending them out to pretty much to the slaughter field because there's nothing being done. So it's almost like I just brought this up in another show. It's almost like having a fighter jet show up on your doorstep, right? And you have the fighter jet, and they're like, okay, go fly the thing. Okay, maybe you're smart enough to get that thing up off the ground, or if you're like me, maybe you're smart enough to take it down the block, right? But getting it off the ground and keeping it in the air, right? That's when that's when the problem comes. You need to you get a fine piece of equipment like that, a veteran, right? Because they have so many different tangible skills. You get that veteran in that position, you have to be trained yourself in how to work with that veteran. And I'm not saying that it's going to take some extensive amount of training, but just understanding. So that's when I started getting it right. I connected with this group called St. Maximus Consultant, and that's what they do. They're pretty much, it's from start to finish. They check up with the veteran just to kind of see how it's going. They check out with the employer. They show the employer how to properly integrate the veteran into the system. And most of these companies, if implemented right, you go to a lot of these companies in 5 years, the veteran now has a C-suite position, which I think is amazing. And it combats when I got out, the only place that I can get a job was as a cop working as a correctional officer or being a truck driver, just like many other vets in this country. That's what we're good for. Or you can go back overseas and work for a contractor doing the same thing that you're doing if you're in infantry or whatever. But we got out for a reason. And when veterans get out of the military, they should not have to there shouldn't be a compromise. There should be a compromise, but it should be fair. I have a partner, he got out, I think he was the E7, E8, pretty much top in the military. He got out, and this man literally could not get a job at McDonald's. I didn't believe him at first. I'm just like, what are you talking about? He couldn't get a job at McDonald's because he was overqualified, right? And couldn't do anything else. So because he was too qualified. And this guy, he straight up said, hey, give me the broom, give me the mop. This is what I'll do. And no, they were afraid to hire him. And it's just like, this happens. So that's why you see the veterans, when you get off the exit, Like that's kind of their story, right? Overqualified, underqualified, overqualified, undereducated, so to speak. So yeah, man, that's my plight, is to reduce the stigma of veterans, of hiring veterans, and just change the minds of us, so that we really can get to a point to where we can say, you know what, we are doing good for our veterans. We are doing good for our nation's heroes.
Yeah. Well, I think, like you touched on the fear, and that's, so we work, primarily my experience has been in construction, and it's like, I think a lot of that's BS, because a lot of people don't even know, they don't clearly define the roles and responsibilities that they're hiring for, and they don't really think through what an ideal candidate looks like. They just think, well, I want them to be like that person or that person, and so I think that's a really good challenge for employers to think a lot. I've always thought, if I can learn to do it, anyone can learn to do it. So we've always looked for, are they hardworking, willing to learn, and honest, right? Because those are like the three things you can't make somebody. I can't make you honest, I can't make you hardworking, and I can't make you willing to learn. But if you bring those three things to the table,
and in construction is showing up on time too, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Just amazing things happen if you show up. Yep. Exactly. And so I guess that's just so weird. I guess maybe if we can, let's challenge, if anyone's watching and you told someone they're overqualified, really think through that. That word should never be used. Like, obviously, if the person's there, they want a job, right? And so figure out a way. Why wouldn't you want somebody overqualified in your organization?
Right, and that's the fear, right? That's the fear, because, man, there's been so many times that I've been on a hiring board or getting ready to hire somebody, and I'm like, oh man, that person is squared away, and it's been a veteran before, where I'm just like, hey, I'm going to hire you, and this is my plan, this is my strategy. Whenever I'm hiring somebody, I want them to be the person that's going to make me have to step my game up, and basically I get promoted so that they can take my job. And that's kind of how veterans work, man. You don't have that's not the culture in the military, to the whole backstab culture. They'll be your number two, they'll be your number three, they'll play their position. You give them a chance, they'll run the team, they'll do whatever you need them to do. And that's and again, a lot of hiring managers that I talk to them, they're just afraid. Is he or she going to come in here screaming and yelling at us? And it's just like, no, of course not. And it's
watching too many movies.
Yeah, too many movies. Like with me, the only thing, I mean, you might hear me in the hallway yelling, but it's like, hey, good morning. Hey, get on your face and give me push-ups or something weird, right? But definitely, man, I think that is education. And this group that I'm with right now, it's been a 360, because we're actually able to make a difference, and not just say that we're doing it, but we're doing it. And I know that we're doing it. So that I'm really proud of that. And anybody that's listening, please reach out to me. Definitely reach out to me if you're interested in hiring veterans, you're interested in starting the conversation, because that's all it takes. It's just one conversation to get us on the right track. And there's so many different benefits to hire veterans. I mean, you can basically hire a veteran and get up to 90% of their salary paid for by the government. A lot of people don't know. There's a lot of different benefits to hiring veterans that just kind of go under the radar. And I think it's pretty much done on purpose.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. Well, thank you for, it's so, especially in our area, Tacoma, Olympia, right? You've got the Joint Air Force, JBLM, right? And so, when we're out there dealing with people that are having trouble hiring people, it's like there's a workforce right there. A lot of people entering the workforce, and they know how to show up, they know how to do the right thing, and they've obviously probably done much harder things than you'll ever ask them to do. So hopefully, if people are listening, read that through and reach out to Tony, and then you're with St. Maximus Consulting. And so obviously you got a plethora of videos and those kinds of things. We got your website there at the bottom. People can check you out. Definitely we'll have to revisit, like we've been talking about, have you on the longer form podcast. So thank you so much for coming on. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
That's it. And I appreciate you for having me on. I know we've been talking for a while, man, and I look forward to sitting down and talking to you again. Definitely. And for your listeners, man, we're going through some hard times right now, but I feel like we're all growing, right? We're all growing. We need to continue leaning on each other, continue do, and I think we're going to be good to go.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, Tony.
All right. Thank you. Take care, man.
You too. All right. Well, that's, I think we did it. Our first ever, dual guest show for South Sound Connection. So this is being brought to you by the DYOJO Podcast. You can find them, the DYOJO, DYOJO.com/listen. Or I should probably put that there on the ticker tape, right? TheDYOJO.com/listen. There we go. Show. And also by All American Restoration Services. They are a general contractor based out of Tacoma, Washington, that specializes in insurance damage repair after things such as water and fire damage. Oh, there we go. There's their allamericanres.com. So there we go. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for supporting. Support local. Share this with your friends and those kinds of things. And we will see you next week, every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.